From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work. We will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your support. And more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you. God bless America. And more importantly, God bless our victims. Well, good evening, everybody. I hope everybody can hear me. I turned the volume down just a little bit. I'll get it up to 50%. Are we good in the neighborhood? It is nice to see everybody this evening. I'm going to start out with one of the first people that wrote, Lisa Be Always River. It's nice to see you, Lady Dragon. The Real Me Too, Sonia. It's nice to see you, my love. I am present. Who else is here? Who else is here? Elle Fig. It's nice to see you, my love. GLB. It's nice to see you as well. Grace upon Grace. Ooh, I like that. Southern's up in the house. Barefoot Nanny. It's nice to see you. Me and you. Stephanie, Miss Moore. It's nice to see you. Cathy B. Penny, Stacy. John, it's nice to see you as well. Donna, good evening, all. Good evening. I see Bug up in the house. I think I missed a few people. Jackie and everybody else, it's nice to see you. I wish I could say hi to you guys all individually. Rebecca says, hey, everybody in chat. Hello, Betty, Becky, and guess what? It's 140 degrees where I live. I just got what it feels, feels so refreshed. Oh, 140 Fahrenheit, Celsius. I don't know. That's like boiling water. Actually, it's probably beyond boiling water. Pale Rider, it's nice to see you. Tippy Toe. I remember doing this once before. Chica NCT. I knew I remembered it. I knew. Ginger Girl, it's nice to see you. It's nice to see Grammy. It's nice to see everybody. So what am I talking about? Earlier today, we were talking about emails, and I promised you guys that I would go ahead and get emails. I was going to read some emails. Let me see if this will help a little bit. I was going to read some emails and get back to you guys and start putting them in order. And of course, every time I go to read, there's always more emails and other emails get lost in other emails and everything like that. So I'm looking through, and then what did I say? CT. Yes, since Connecticut. I know what I'm trying to say. It's just too damn late for me today. I came all the way in from Miami. It's been a rough ride for the last couple days. So bear with me. Oh, hey, Casual Christy. It's nice to see you. B Betty fan is up in the house. It's nice to see you, my love. I miss all my mods and all my subscribers. It's nice to see you. And of course, my beautiful members. But you members are subscribers, so you're caught in everything. You're caught in everything. So somebody had sent me a screenshot of, and it was just recently. I was reading through emails and I was coming back, and I've been doing some other stuff and coming back because I've been washing a crap load of clothes and blah, 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 because this little thing has been running all over the place. Well, this is kind of, naturally I'm sitting here thinking about this and I don't know what to say about the statement. So I figured I would put this up on the big screen and would chat. So let me get over here to this side. I got to find it up here. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, let's keep it big. So, was the Bowersox car seen in the neighborhood when Sebastian went missing? And so, Cathy Bowersox, eager to clear their name. Remember, her husband decided to track me down and stalk me for a half hour. Don't forget that. That's awfully sus, right? That's awfully sus. So she says, according to the timestamp camera in the Bowersock driveway and neighboring cameras, it was not. What neighboring cameras? I'm not sure why this does this. Every time this does this. I don't know what it is. I think this computer can't handle this live stream. I don't know. Give me a second, guys. All right, so this is the deal. For whatever reason, Google Chrome can't support virtual backgrounds. I don't know why, but it just dropped my virtual background and it won't let me do the virtual background. I digress. It doesn't really matter. Let's move on. I won't use the background on here anymore because I really don't give a rat's ass whether I got the background or not. I was just trying to support because I heard there was a lot of slurs over the last few days. So I just wanted to support. That's all. But I digress. Here's the situation. We can still share our email, and that's what I'm going to do. Let me put this back where it needs to be. And we're going to go over this email one more time. Oh, good gracious. Good gracious. That really got in my butt. Okay, maybe I need to give me just a second. Why is this doing this to me? I can't with this thing. Okay, there. Maybe if I just stop it right there, maybe I can share it without it divulging any other information. Okay, I got too many StreamYards open. All right, we got it. We got it. We got it. Sorry, guys. Bear with me. Good gracious, I hate technical issues, and there's nothing I can do about it. There we go. Okay, there we are. So she's saying, according to the timestamp camera in the Bowersox driveway and the neighboring cameras, it's not. She didn't say the police have it. She didn't say according to the police. She said according to the timestamp camera in the Bowersox driveway. Now, what what camera is in the Bowersox driveway? And which neighboring cameras are we talking about? Because if you go to the side of their house, there's only one person. If you're looking at their house in the front, which it's facing this way, over to the right hand side is only one house, and then it's the woods. And those woods going on the power line, you can drive straight back to another road. And anybody, and I mean anybody that's in that area knows that. It took me a second to realize that because I had to follow the power lines through, and it goes straight to another road. And it's a direct shot to the other road. So there is a possibility that nobody could see it in the neighborhood. And there's absolutely, without a doubt, the possibility that somebody drove straight through. Because you guys know that that was my preferred spot. Why? Because of the location, because of the woods, and because of that one shot where you go straight through the power lines. It's wide enough to take an RV. But one thing I didn't see in the Bowersox driveway was a camera. And she says a camera in the driveway. Now, it could be a typo. She could have meant on the driveway. Is she just referring to a simple Ring doorbell camera? Does anybody know what kind of cameras they have? Maybe we should go back and look, because I know I had to take a picture. Let's see what we got. I didn't think to do this. I was too busy watching my dog go completely nutso. But we were just there. And I didn't recognize any camera in the driveway. I'm pretty sure, if I recall correctly, I did see possibly a Ring doorbell camera. But would that Ring doorbell camera pick up them backing out? And was it turned over to law enforcement? And the reason why I'm asking this is because we did an overlay of Canva. Now it was pretty telling. They all know that law enforcement is not talking to the public. They all know that law enforcement is not talking to the public. Is it easy for them? Oh, shoot, I just stopped sharing. Is it easy for them to lie? I have to think so. It'd be very easy to lie. They know law enforcement's not keeping the community up to snuff. Here we go. Why is it? I hate when it does this. It won't let me do anything when like this. Okay, so let me just do it this way. Sorry, guys. I wish there was an easier way to do it, but there's not. It won't let me do it right. Actually, that's transparency. So we need to put the car back in. There's the car. This fits too perfectly with the windshield. Now I want to show you guys something. As a matter of fact, can you guys see that? As a matter of fact, I want to show you guys something. Of course, I went up too high. And it's the back of the car, because we know Terry stalked me. And I got the back of the car. I just need to find the back of the car. You guys see that? Let me move this off. Now. See if I can move this. Let me see what I can do here. Maybe something like that. No. Maybe this one. That work? No. I don't think any of them's going to work with me on here. None of them's going to work. But there it is. There's the back of the car. Right there. Step. And that's from the wrong angle. I needed to kind of be further back and pivot like a side shot. But either way, I don't know. This looks like it fits like a glove. Just saying. Kind of looks like it fits like a glove. But Who knows, right? Who knows? Cathy Bowersox is saying that her car was not physically present. I can tell you that right there is not a pickup truck. I don't know a lot, but whatever car that is, it looks like an SUV, not a pickup truck. I'm just saying. I don't know. I don't know. But right here in this little dip right here, this light right here, let me turn this off. This light right here, there is an impression, a very specific type, and it's built in. It's like a decorative indentation in the bumper. I wonder if I can. Did I have it on this one? You can't even see it on the one that I've got from when Terry was following me. But that light right down here hits right on the decorative indentation in the bumper of this particular vehicle. Now, again, this is just an unscientific overlay, but it seems like that hits right in those spots. And you can see this decorative indentation in this one right here. It's like a little indentation. It's just decorative. But I couldn't figure out what those spots were down at the bottom. And it hits right there in the decorative indentation. So, according to Cathy Bowersox, she says she's got proof that her vehicle never left her home, and says neighboring cameras. Who has neighboring cameras? Because if you guys recall, on the other side of her fence, or excuse me, on the other side of her street, there was no other cars there. If you guys recall, on the other side of their street, let's look at it. Let's go to Google Maps. Let's go to Earth. See what Earth says. Earth always has good things, right? Earth always has good things. I don't like any of these. Let's do that one. Earth, where are you, Earth? There we go. Okay. Let's go over here. All right. So, here is their house. This right here, this is the only house. Well, I guess this one here. I didn't see that one, or I didn't pay attention. Maybe I did see it. I just wasn't paying attention. So these are all the 3 houses right here in this little area that would probably be able to see if the car went this way. So this Ring doorbell may have picked it up, or other. I'll have to go back through the footage when we went there live, and I'll have to go through my footage on my phone and see if I can find out whether, because I went by these houses, I remember recording them, so I need to slow it down and find out if they got Ring doorbell cameras. But this right here, you go past some debris and you're on a wide open area here. Okay. Now, I don't know what this is. It looks like it's potentially a fence. When I looked through there, it was a straight shot. I don't know what this is. When I was down here, and I was right here, there was nothing in my line of sight forever. So I don't know what these are, but you could see straight down. But I want to show you where it goes to. Right here. It goes to another road right here. Now, Not saying that that happened. Not saying that happened at all. But if what Cathy Bowersox is saying is true, is there an alternative theory? And the answer is yes. There is an alternative theory here that could be plausible. And that's the problem. Do I believe Cathy Bowersox or one of their vehicles were there? I do. Why do I believe that? Because this boy was sheltered. This boy was sheltered, and there was a lot of strange phenomenons that went on this very night that this boy went missing. And the strange phenomenons surround his family. Okay? That's the problem I'm having. What kind of strange phenomenons do we have that happened proceeding up to Sebastian disappearing? Well, we definitely know at this point, this 3-hour telephone conversation is not normal. We did learn that. It's not something that they do every day or every night. This is something that seemed to bother Chris and wanted to get ahead of it early on in when he came out and started speaking to the public. Another strange phenomenon that we had that was going on in and around the time that this boy disappeared is there was light issues going on in the house. Now, normally we probably wouldn't think too much with the lighting issue, right? We probably wouldn't think, 11:30, seeing lights going on and off, we probably wouldn't think anything about it. But when we hear Katie specifically say that she put her son or had her son go to bed at 9 p.m. so he could get ready for school the next morning, right? We find that him going to bed at 9:30 and everything's still going on in the house up until 11 o'clock, especially when she's trying to convince people that she was sleeping on the couch. Then why did Sebastian's light go on and off in his room several times, going off finally at 11 o'clock, and then seeing a shadowy figure going across the room to her bedroom and shutting off the light there? And then all of a sudden, the entire house going dark. That's a strange phenomenon that does not normally happen. Then we got the strange phenomenon of light sources outside the home prior to Sebastian disappearing. Those light sources on the outside of the home have been unexplained. Many people have speculated that those light sources are flashlights. I truly do believe that those light sources are either flashlights or cell phones, personally speaking. We also see what is perceived to be a flashlight and or cell phone heading back to toward the Proudfoot home that same evening after somebody apparently or appears to have gotten in the unmarked vehicle or unidentified vehicle rather, and drove off. That's a strange phenomenon that doesn't normally happen around their house. Mind you, these things happened around 3:30 in the morning. Another strange phenomenon. The last strange phenomenon that I'm going to discuss is the strange phenomenon of Sebastian Rogers walking out of his home without shoes on or walking out of the home at all. Again, more strange phenomenons that don't normally happen. The one thing that's very apparent on its face, at least to me, is the fact that Chris and Katie and their household seem to keep coming up, and everything seems to keep circling back to this home, to this home, to this family, to Chris and Katie. Every time I turn around, everything leads right back to them. Katie can't seem to produce Sebastian. Many people believe that Katie put Sebastian somewhere for his own good, right? Keep him away from big old bad mean Seth, the only place that he felt safe. She just wants to keep him away from him. Another strange phenomenon is this happened on what appears to be the 8-year anniversary of the divorce from Seth. When I had an opportunity to ask Seth how long he was married, well, they so happened to have been married 8 years. Other strange phenomenons. But and again, the one thing that's not strange about this is that it keeps circling back to the same home and the same two people and the other people by proxy. I have never in my life witnessed a child disappearing and that child living with a step parent and the step parent nor any of his family, not even the young cousins, even ever went out to help this man, to look for this child. Nobody from that side of the family ever came out for Sebastian. Isn't that a strange phenomenon, too? If you believe that it's a strange phenomenon that Chris, Katie, and Chris's entire family, including the cousins and the aunt that was just hanging out with him the day before, not coming out to help search or post flyers is a little strange. If it is, answer one for yes and two for no. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird for me. That family made fun of they made Lisa, you know that. And to hear it was hard listening to Seth when I can't remember what show he was on. It might even have been mine. I've just listened to so many interviews. It's just hard. It might even have been my show. It sounds crazy that I say it like that. It might even have been my show. But I recall, oh, excuse me. That came out of nowhere. Um, Seth had said something to the effect of he couldn't even stand watching the interviews with Chris and Katie and how bad they were talking down about his son. That's got to be really, really hard. You know what I'm saying? That's got to be ultra, ultra rough to have such a love for your child and then find out your child is missing. Not really. I mean, let's face it. Going into this case. I mean, and I shouldn't say case because I'm speaking like from Seth's perspective, and I'm assuming this. Okay, I know you guys think I get all this insight from Seth, and while I do have an opportunity to speak to him here and there. This is my opinion, and this is not anything resonated in any type of factual information other than what was provided. But it just seems to me that, and I don't even remember where I'm going to go with it. I probably should just stop and rethink how I'm going to phrase that. Let me regroup myself with the whole Seth thing because at the end of the day, the whole family, and I don't know where I was going with that, but I'm just going to walk it through. So maybe I'll find out where I left off. But when Seth found out that his son was missing and he heard his ex's story and the way she was behaving after being with somebody for 8 years, I'd have to think that you know some type of behavior of theirs, right? Like you kind of, I mean, I think everybody does. Like my ex-husband, I was with him for a decade. I know exactly. So nobody could come here and say that he did this, or this without me automatically knowing whether he would be capable of doing this, and this. I know him very well. So I have to think that Seth knows Katie and that he probably went there and it had to have been so sus. Oh, hey, TD. It's nice to see you, my love. It probably had to be such a weird feeling to be at his ex, hearing about his son, and then finding out through all of these interviews how they truly felt about his son when he's the one that's tried to instill in him on, showing him directions to make sure it was repetitive so his son could come to his house if need be. What was the purpose of Seth telling him these turn by turn directions? He was doing it so if he ever needed to get to his father's house, he could get to it. And so he taught his son the best way he knew how by constantly saying it over and over and over again and why he's turning on these roads. So I just thought it was very interesting that we have Chris and Katie that basically say that this child, he's childlike. He's not, he's in a 15-year-old body, but his mind's just not right. And or whatever she said, his mind's younger, not right, but younger or something. Because when she said it, I remember I was thinking, because I didn't know this family, I didn't know this child, and the way she had described it, it made me feel like he was in the slow learning disability classes or something like that. And then Seth, as I started talking to Seth, I realized that that wasn't the case, that his son was, performing in the normal classes with normal students. He's not in a special education class. The way they even described Sebastian to the world wasn't even right, in my opinion. And I feel like they did that intentionally to make it sound like he would be willing to run off. But Seth knew that his son did not run off. And Seth knew that his son had a proclivity of putting on his shoes each and every time he walks out. So why would Chris and Katie imply that Sebastian is a 15-year-old boy in a 15-year-old body, but his mind's not there? Is basically, and I can't remember the words they use, but they use something to that effect. And it implied to people like me and people like you that have never dealt with like autistic children or children on the spectrum, or his rare condition of the chromosome deletion syndrome, we would think that they are talking about this is a 15-year-old with a much younger mind. Well, if he had a much younger mind, why would he be still performing in his school and grade level? I felt very duped by Chris and Katie's description of Sebastian, and that's just one of them. One of the more demeaning, the initial demeaning statement, but we didn't know it was demeaning at the time until we learned from Seth that these things were very hard for him to watch his ex-wife say about his son, and the way he was treating his son at his house and teaching him how to cook and instilling in him things that his father felt were necessary to make sure that his son could take care of himself. One thing as a parent, and I can tell you this from my experience with my own father, and him literally teaching me as much as he could possibly teach me so I didn't have to rely on anybody, was being a father. And I felt like Seth, in part, was doing that when he was trying to show his son how to cook and teaching his son to be a builder and not a destroyer. It was disheartening. And we have to think, and I have to think that that is a weird phenomenon. Why would they be doing this? So we have all these phenomenons going on in this small little window of time. You know what I'm saying? This small little window of time, all these things are going on, and then to boot, a boy is missing. But again, it's around the same people and the same home. We can't look past that. I feel Sebastian has been put in a good facility. Well, did you read for behavioral issues, when Katie is ready, they will. Well, this is the problem, Decor and more. That's not the case. We found out that by law, if a child is put into one of these facilities, especially if the parents are both, there's court, They have to either produce court papers that the parental ties are severed, or both parents have to sign to put the child in there, both biological parents. So that's something we just learned recently. So I'm not sure if that is the case. I would love it to be, but honestly, it sounds like law is preventing that from even possibly being a possibility. And I'm pretty sure that even when I found that out, I even think I said something like to the effect of maybe now we need to look at churches and maybe other organizations that are not, that wouldn't require this. They did this because of parental abductions. If you guys want to know why it's not very easy just to stick a kid in a facility, is because of parental abductions. So they're very, very acutely aware of what happens and how it does happen. And so, because of that, they have these mandates, such as you have to produce court documents proving that the secondary parent, the second biological parent has been removed from that child's life by a court order or otherwise. So again, a little bit difficult to put in, just, it sounds good in theory, but when you put it into practice, you realize that the only way that Sebastian could possibly be in one of these facilities is if Seth signed him in, helped sign him in along with Katie. Chris wouldn't be able to do it. It has to be the biological parents. So it was very disheartening to learn that, but that's what we learned. I mean, I would love, and not only that, but so many people said as soon as Faith went home, we're going to see how quickly Sebastian is found. Well, I just heard Faith is back with Nina. I again, it's rumor. I didn't call Nina or disrupt anybody's life to find out, just stuff I've heard through the grapevine, that Faith is back with Nina. And I pray to God she is. And I pray to God her visitation with her father went well, because I don't, if the visitation with Chris didn't go well, that means Faith's trip didn't go well. And I love Faith enough, or care enough. I shouldn't say love because I don't know Faith, but I care enough about Faith to want her to have had a good time despite all this, because she's just too young to understand, you know? Hey, Mr. and Mrs. E, it's nice to see you, my loves. I don't think I know it's hard, Minbug. It really is. They probably left their home because they don't want to remember what happened every day. Well, I have been around many, many mothers, okay? Many mothers that have lost their children a number of ways, from murder to self-infliction. I can tell you, moms don't run away like that, Michelle. I want you to, I don't want you to put all your information out here, if you don't want to, but I have to assume, and I'm assuming, and I apologize, that you probably have children. There is no good reason a mother that is missing a child would pack up and leave unless something happened inside that home. She had that home cleaned, professionally cleaned. I think you're right in part that she doesn't want to remember what happened there. But I think it's for totally different means. I think that she did something. And it was hard for her maybe to face herself. Because, in a situation like this, in my opinion, I know a lot of people feel like it's premeditated or otherwise. And while there is a possibility that Sebastian is still out there healthy and happy, nothing is leading us to that conclusion or that theory. There's not one scintilla of information that leads us down that road right now. And there should be, especially when law enforcement told us 4 months ago that there was no evidence of foul play. It sure sounds like there's evidence of foul play now. Has anybody in the neighborhood, if anybody has Bobby's number and you're friends with her or you are friends with her on Facebook or something, maybe ask her. I'm starting to get tired, so my brain's starting to slow down. I've been up since 3 o'clock this morning. Um, Good gracious. I don't even remember what I wanted to ask her. I can't even remember what I wanted to ask her, so I'm gonna have to. I'll come back to that. But I have to think that Katie should have stayed home. I've met a lot of moms. There's moms that don't even touch their child's room. Has to close the door. Moms that have left dirty dishes on their counters for years because those were the last dirty dishes that their child had. We got none of that from Katie. It's been 5 months. I don't know how you would react to that, Michelle, but I don't think you would be walking out of your house in the middle of an investigation during searches when you say your child ran away from home. I have to think that you would be right by that phone and right there at the house to greet your child, whether it's to, scream at them, hug them, then scream at them, you know. Um, it's just I can't imagine. I can't imagine, you know. That's my only problem. BA says, in my observation, the snaggle socks look happy as hell right after Sebastian went missing. Kind of odd. It seemed like everybody did. It seemed like it seems like it was a weight off people's shoulders. I don't know how to describe it other than that. It seemed like it was a weight off everybody's shoulders on that side. And that's also weird, in my opinion. In my opinion, Sebastian was a lot better off than Katie made him out to be. I believe that now. I didn't know. I'm going off the information I got. And now that we hear that he was not, I mean, think about it. If he does, and maybe this doesn't make sense, maybe it does to some. I mean, is it possible that he could have a childlike mind and still be performing at a 15-year-old grade level? To me, it seems like those almost, I mean, I know that he struggles, but everybody keeps saying that he's performing with his grade level. How can he be performing with his grade level and be not right up in the mind? They were making us believe he wasn't right up in the mind, that he was much younger than he or acted much younger than he was. And while maybe in some respects he did play with toys or did play with younger toys than for him, he was still performing at his grade level. I'm confused about that. Maybe somebody in here can make it make sense. Maybe it's no, I don't know. I don't know. It's just my opinion that they misled us from the very beginning about him. And then talked about diapers even making him look more infant like to us, if you will. As if he couldn't take care of himself. And even Seth acknowledged that he doesn't know if Sebastian would need lifelong care. I don't think that any parent really knows whether that's the case for their child until the child gets a little bit older and you can gauge how much they're retaining when taking care of themselves. What was Katie implementing in her household to make sure that Sebastian was every day taking care of himself, making sure his teeth are brushed, making sure he takes a shower, making sure he washes all the crevices, right? Make sure he washes behind his ears and his hair. So, how did Kate plus Wright put one of her kids away and dad had no idea? How did Kate plus Wright put one of her kids away and dad had no idea? I don't know what you're talking about. You'll have to look that up yourself. I would say call around yourself. I mean, nothing's breaking anybody's arm from calling the autism centers or other medical facilities and confirming this information. Arguing with, I mean, or not, I shouldn't say arguing, but I mean, I'm just telling you what's been said. These are facilities that say that there's laws that require them to have documentation to put, whether if a facility follows that or not. I don't know how Katie and Chris would find a facility that didn't follow state law. I think that maybe if for those that believe that in their theory Sebastian has been shipped off somewhere, you might want to go and look for maybe churches or other type of autistic centers that don't require. I don't think it's. I think it's. This is what the email said. Let me just read it to you. Maybe it'll be a little clearer. I don't know. Let me make sure I'm not doxing anybody before I remove this. Okay, it's just my face on here. And I don't even know if I can find it again. And by the way, thank you, JM, for that. Um, I think it's this one. So, did she give me her name? Did she give me permission? I think I read that she gave me permission to use her name. I'll just use her first. Okay, I think I can use all of them, but let me just read here. Clarification on the person that sent me this so I can make sure I give you credit. You said absolutely anytime you may share my information. Is Which information am I allowed to share? Can I share your name, like just the first name on the email? Obviously not the number, but anyways, this is what the email says. It says, okay, my friend, she was well enough to sit at her computer and start looking up in house autistic schools to have them look at Sebastian's flyer. And she says, now interestingly enough, the multiple places I called information I got was generally the same. By law, a child under the age of 18 or over 18 and has a durable power of attorney. So the person over 18 has to have the durable power of attorney executed. Um, those are the only way they can be admitted is if by law, if the child is under the age of 18 or over the age of 18 with a power of attorney, cannot be admitted without both biological parents signing off unless there is a court document proving that one of the bio parents are not involved in the person's life. So that is the information that we have as it has come in. Again, nothing is preventing people from fact checking this or doing your own research. I can only give you guys some information. If you don't believe me, you don't have to believe me, but this is easy enough that everybody can figure it out for themselves and find out whether it's law or not. Okay? So I just wanted to point that out. What are you doing? She's trying to sleep, and I think I'm keeping her up. I'm keeping myself up. My son was in the service, the Marines, and he gave Beacon a big back. It's green. I guess got into the middle of a conversation. Where is it? Okay, Miss Moore, it's nice to see you. I must have missed that portion of the conversation, so I apologize about that. Katie is controlled. Actually, I think we might be misreading Katie. I think Katie is probably as manipulative as Christopher Proudfoot. Do a theory with her being as manipulative as Christopher Proudfoot. because I have a funny feeling we're going to learn a lot about Katie and her, manipulating upbringing. She manipulated a lot of people, in my opinion. I'm working on that. I'm not quite ready for that story yet, but I think we need to, don't pity this woman. Don't pity this woman. I think that there's a lot more than meets the eye when it comes to her. She says Sebastian has a mind of 11-year-old, but autistic children are extremely smart. I guess I don't understand that. Robin, maybe you can explain it to me. It probably wouldn't do any good to explain it to me in chat because I'm so tired tonight. If you can explain that to me, maybe I'm just not thinking of it correctly. But I just don't understand that. I feel like they were intentionally deceptive to us about Sebastian's current condition. I just do. I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, then I'll admit I'm wrong. But I need something because the way it's looking is that they intentionally and willfully talk crap about Sebastian, and I think it was done on purpose to throw things off. That's just my opinion. But I need to find out, how can a child be childlike? Like his body and him is. We'll have to get the green shirt interview and listen to it verbatim. I'm too tired to look up the specific, go through the notes and try to find the specific spot. But we will talk about it tomorrow. We will talk about it tomorrow. Jenny says there is a Stephanie Proudfoot linked to Chris in LinkedIn, and she works at an autistic teens and young adults. Yeah, but working. Y'all, I'm getting too tired. I've been up way too long, and I'm starting to just yawn. And this is what happened on TikTok, and I was about to fade out. So this is what I'm going to do. Get all your stuff together, send it to me on these, aquatic stuff. Because no matter how you look at it, you still have to follow procedure. Just because somebody works at a facility doesn't mean they're going to be able to sneak somebody in. I mean, it's not like that. These are highly regulated programs. Oh, careful with your head. These are highly, regulated programs. I mean, it sounds really great, but how do you propose this was done? I mean, a split second. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It just seems awfully, I don't know. You know? I just don't, it's hard for me to believe that he would be in a facility when you need both bio parents. I mean, the only way to pull this off is like, James Bond stuff. These people ain't James Bond, y'all. It's got to be more realistic and brought down to earth a little bit. Some of these things are just a little bit. If someone you know is struggling, you can call Suicide and Crisis Lifeline by dialing 988. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm sure her mother will question her on what she has seen and heard. Faith, oh yeah, I'm sure. So she's going back at the end of this month. He had her for 2 months? That's a long time for a first visit. I would think that the judge would at least dipped his toe in the water and saw how like a weekend visit would go first before. Wow. Wow. All right, guys, we're gonna have to say I'm sorry for yawning on you. I didn't realize it had gotten so late and I had been up so early, and I've been running around trying to get everything cleaned up because the days of me being able to go out on these trips and just come back and dump my stuff in the middle of the living room floor and leaving it there for 2 days until I recover from these trips. It doesn't work like that anymore. I've got a puppy that will literally chew everything. So the stuff's got to be off the floor. And so I've been just running. Oh, Brenda, I got your package. I forgot to say thank you. I just looked over there because they were over here earlier And then I forgot, and then I moved them over there, and I didn't go live at 8. And so when they moved over there, I just looked over there and saw the coffee. I will be drinking a fresh cup of coffee with you in the morning as we talk about a new coffee. I can't remember the name because it's all the way over there and I'm blind as a bat. So I love you, Brenda. Thank you for sending me coffee. I'm going to grind it up in the morning, and we are going to have a fresh cup of your coffee for the coffee club in the morning. So I hope you guys are all here. Take care. I wish I had some more information. We're going to be talking about the Bowersox a little bit more. And I think we're just going to, over the next week or so, we're going to be reviewing maps, but we're also going to be going through some emails so I can be answering your questions and stuff like that. I'm going to try to start working from the newest to the oldest, but I'm also going to be working. I'm going to break and start working from the oldest to the newest. I think that that's going to be fair. So you never really know when it's going to come up. But I think that if there's good questions, we need to be answering them as a group. So anyways, guys, I love you. I'm sorry for yawning on you and falling asleep, but I'm just too exhausted. I really am. So tomorrow's a new day. It'll be a fresh day, and we will rock it out with our coffee beans out. We are sliding into the weekend, our happy hump day, and we will see you soon. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe. But more importantly, please be kind to one another. We do not want to contribute with all the hate. Get it. Love you. God bless.